Man, boy, I'm really having trouble seeing this morning here. Seeing the computer, seeing my video camera, boy, my glasses are smudged this morning. It's just a little hard for me to focus. Let me clean these puppies. See what if I can work with them. Ah, nope, that didn't really seem to help much, did it? No, I have trouble seeing. Everything just seems to be uh, a bit out of focus. Everything just seems to be about as clear as mud. Yeah. Hey, did you just hear what I said? As clear as mud. Did you ever hear that phrase before? Saying something is as clear as mud is a way of saying that something is actually not very clear at all. Like I'm really having trouble seeing this morning, so it's as clear as mud. It can be used to say, this phrase can be used to say that something is just difficult to see. And the phrase can also be used in a sarcastic way to say that something just doesn't make any sense. Like the instructions in that manual you gave me are as clear as mud. Or we could say, well, I guess I need to call a lawyer because these legal contracts are as clear as mud. We could say, your swimming pool needs cleaning. The water is as clear as mud. In other words, it's not clear at all. This clear as mud phrase first appeared in 1842, a long time ago, in a book named The Ingalls Gulby Legends, and it stuck. And we've been saying it and using this phrase ever since. And it does make sense. Sometimes things are about as clear as mud because sometimes things in life are hard to understand. Yep. Sometimes it can be difficult to understand why we experience the things we're experiencing now. Like, why is there COVID? Why is there a flu? Why are there people getting sick? Why do we have to stay in our homes? Why can't we do the things that we used to do? It's about as clear as mud because it doesn't make sense. I don't understand all the time why there are bad things in the world. Sometimes to me, it's about as clear as mud. Just can't see it. Sometimes it's also difficult to see what God is doing and what we are to be learning and seeing through our life experiences. There's a story in the Old Testament when God's people were surrounded by their enemies and they were feeling desperate because they thought they were all alone. That's all they could see was their enemies. But Elisha the prophet knew that God was still present. The story is found in 2 Kings chapter 6. Maybe you'll want to read that sometime. But there's a verse in there where Elisha prays that his servant's eyes would be open so that he can see not just the people, the enemies surrounding them, but what else was there. So Elisha prayed, Lord, open my servant's eyes so that he can see. And then the Lord opened his eyes, and Elisha's servants looked up and he saw the hills. And guess what? He saw that Elisha and the other enemies and were all surrounded by horses and chariots made of fire. God's angels were there. They just couldn't be seen. And Elisha says something pretty neat. He says, there are more that are for us than there are who are against us. Sometimes we just have to look differently. Sometimes we have to adjust our sight. Maybe like not wearing these out of focus glasses and maybe not even wearing dark glasses sometimes because they don't help us see everything, but wearing the vision, the glasses that are best for us, exactly like my glasses here. Wow, I can see so much better now. It's no longer like mud. Things are a little bit more clear. Jesus did heal people who were blind while he was living here on earth. And one time, there's a story that he helped a man who was blind. It's found in John chapter 9. And this man came to him, and he and Jesus were talking. And the verse says this in John 9, verse 6. After he said this, Jesus said this to the man, he spit on the ground. And then he made some mud with the spit, and he put the mud on the man's eyes. I just wanted to try something this morning. Haven't done this um, before, so don't try this at home. But I have some mud here I got out of my garden this morning because it was wet. And so I just wanted to see sort of what it might feel like to put some mud on my eye. Uh, uh, um, a little dirt there. Yeah, I don't know what it looks like because my eyes are closed. We got some mud going on there. Well, Jesus put this mud on these man's eyes, and wow, feels nice and cool. And then he told him to go and wash the eyes, and he could see. So I'm just going to wipe this off a little bit. I still got some mud there. Yeah, I don't know how that worked for the man, but it felt a little weird to me. But Jesus, as I said, told this man to go, and the man could see. He listened to the words of Jesus. He listened to what God told him to do, and then he had clear vision. You know, we don't have to put mud in our eyes every day to see what God is doing. We can look around us and we can be aware of God's presence, of his work in our lives. We can watch for God. So keep your eyes open to see God at work. Matthew 6:22 says, the eye is like a lamp for the body. Suppose your eyes are healthy, then your whole body will be full of light. Today we want to keep our vision, our eyes clear. We don't want things to be as clear as mud. We want things to be as clear as light, to be able to see what God is doing in our lives. So trust in God today. Look to him, and I hope that you have a day that's filled with joy, and most of all, a day that is filled with peace.